Hello, I am Deanna Laird with Accounting Fly, and welcome to Meet This School, our series where we talk with top Masters of Accounting programs in the U.S. And today we have DePaul University and some representatives from their Masters of Accountancy program. We have Vincent Mara, who is actually a student right now and about to graduate. He's been with the Master's program, but also received his bachelor's degree in accounting at DePaul. We also have Professor Cindy Durchie, who is the program director for the Masters of Accountancy program, and also is a leading researcher in both forensic and investigative accounting. So very pleased to have both of you. Welcome. Thank you for being here. And Vincent, let's start with you. I'd love to hear your perspective and a little bit about yourself, your pathway from your bachelor's degree in accounting to your master's, and also, since you're on the verge of graduating, your career goals for the next 1 to 3 years.
Thank you, Deanna. So as you said, I'm Vincent Morrow, and I received my bachelor's degree from DePaul in 2015. So kind of the segue into the MAC program was because I did have 2 internships, and one of them was in internal audit, and I realized that that was really kind of the new goal to get into. So with the MAC program, what it focuses on is accounting information systems, forensic accounting, internal audit, and more of the high demand areas such as data mining. So we do work with some of the more cutting edge programs in the MAC program. So with this, what I would do now is I'm transferring into one of the largest public accounting firms in the nation, and I'm going to be working in their audit side. And because of the MAC program and kind of seeing the forensic accounting side and the internal audit side and how important that's becoming in this more globalized society, after about maybe 2 or 3 busy seasons, I'm looking forward to kind of doing a horizontal shift to their advisory service practice in either a forensic accounting capacity or an internal audit capacity.
That's great. That's pretty exciting. The exciting transition you're making here. So,
thank you.
Tell me a little bit about the program, the culture of the program, like the class topics, maybe the size, the students and professors, kind of your feel of the program as you've gone through it.
Of course. So the program, it's definitely more a team-based program. So the class sizes are about, I would say, maybe depending on the class, it would either be between 20 and 40 people, I would say. So with the team culture, because of the class sizes and you're kind of going through a set curriculum, you have classes with pretty much the same people each quarter. So you do kind of have that camaraderie, and you're working with people in an environment that is going to be pretty similar to what it's going to be like in the workforce. So with that, you would have just a group of people that you would work with throughout the 10 weeks, whether it be kind of with a data mining project where you would just kind of have a program and just have a set of data and analyze that and kind of dig into the data for the whole 10 weeks, or more a critical thinking component to it. So what that would be, it's definitely more of a meeting area, so kind of taking a step back from the everyday workforce and then just kind of meeting with your team and kind of discussing how you should approach something. So it's definitely preparing you more so for a career in the high demand areas of accounting.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I know from the recruiting side, my years of recruiting, so being on the employer side, that team-based experience is critical, and it really gives you some terrific experience. So that's fantastic. So Cindy, I'd like to ask you about the professors. You being a professor there, and love to hear a little bit about the background of the professors that are teaching in this program. Their backgrounds, the PhDs, or the research that is being conducted. So let us know a little bit about that.
Okay, so we're doing something that's really, I think, quite unique here, and that is that all of the classes are headed by somebody who already has a PhD in accounting in the area in which they're teaching. So that means they're doing research in it, cutting-edge research in that area, and they're also taking the time to put together the big projects, such as Vince was talking about, that are necessary. What we found is sometimes if you bring in a practitioner, they can tell nice stories, but what we wanted is more than that. We want the students to get their hands dirty. We want them to be doing actual projects, dealing with real data. And, these are the kind of things that take years to put together and build. And so we've put together a faculty of really well-known PhDs and that are doing these kind of projects. So it's very student-focused, and we're working very hard at making sure our students are just the best hires that people can get out there. We're very close to the Chicago community. We're right down in the loop in Chicago, And so we have very close associations with all the big accounting firms, so we know what they're looking for in students, people like Vince here. And so, we're trying very hard to stay on the cutting edge always, and always be nimble and bringing in new projects and keeping students right on that cutting edge.
So Vincent, I think a lot of this audience of this video will be students who are looking at, what school is the right school for me? So what is your advice to someone when they're considering different schools? What do you think that they should look for and make sure they know about the school?
So pretty much academics always comes to mind first, but after I got my bachelor's from DePaul and then moving into the MAC program, what I realized was, just as Cindy kind of implied there, was DePaul really does have a great history in Chicago and probably the best alumni network in the city out of all the universities. So really it depends on the alumni network, because with that you could have jobs, internships. That's kind of what's expected in the MAC program. So the teachers are really understanding and accommodating to students that work. So what happens with the MAC program, like I said, is the teamwork environment. So with that, you're learning, and then the very next day you could go to your job or your internship and apply what you've learned in the classroom. So not only do they kind of accommodate that, but the teachers are also very encouraging of students working.
Excellent, excellent. So Cindy, what do you think? I know you've already said some of the things that kind of set DePaul apart, but are there some other elements you'd like to bring about that you think is critical to know about the school? Maybe your forensic area, the audit, information systems, data analytics. What are some other aspects about DePaul that really are differentiators for you?
Well, one thing that's very different about our Master's in Accountancy program is, for a lot of schools and other schools that I've taught at before, it's sort of a continuation of that undergraduate bachelor's degree. Here, it's absolutely not. The students who come in are generally either have a CPA or they've had all the classes they need to sit for the CPA. So what we're doing, that gives us free rein to just add on top of that the skills that employers are actually looking for. Anymore, when you're being hired, a CPA gets you through the door, but they want more than that. They want the data analytics. And so what we've got here at DePaul, we've got a master's in taxation for those people who want that. But the master's in accountancy here looks more at the audit and the advisory services that accounting firms hire for. And so we have in that, the forensic accounting, and we teach the data analytics and the internal audit. So we combine those three programs together, but we also feed off each other in all of those. So we don't just teach them how to analyze data. What we're teaching them, and why we have the forensic accounting in there, is so that when you're analyzing this data, what are the questions you should be asking? How do you recognize when something's weird? And you've learned those sort of things in the forensic accounting class. And you also tie into that the internal audit classes, where you learn about the controls that should be in place. So when students come out of here, they're very strong candidates for the audit and the advisory service practice of the law firms. Sorry, I've got the legal stuff in my head, of the accounting firms.
Showing your forensic background.
Should want them too, right?
Very good. All right, so Vincent, back to you, and so we talked about a lot of great aspects of DePaul. I mean, can you just net it down? In the end, why do you think students choose DePaul and make it that their school of choice?
Of course. So, like Cindy said, we do kind of have that great relationship with the public accounting firms. So with that comes kind of having them come in and then also just discuss with the professors what they're looking for in their new hires. So during this, especially with the data mining classes, what we've been doing, we've been using that cutting edge software. So it's actually the software that those firms are using. So that's definitely going to give us that edge when we do begin. We're going to just be ahead of the other hires that were there, not from DePaul. And then just beyond that, we also have the forensic accounting courses in the MAC program. And with those, even though there's really no program that we're using, that's going to be more so critical thinking and communication skills, which is going to be another top thing that those firms are looking for. So just because of that, it's kind of a more well-rounded package, both the technical side with the software programs and then just the critical thinking side as well.
And Cindy, anything you'd like to add on top of that from your perspective?
Sure. So in Chicago, our students get jobs. I mean, there's lots and lots of jobs here for accounting students. So our students get jobs. Most of them have jobs before they leave. But what we're aiming for is not only to get them hired, because that happens, but we're thinking long term in their career, giving them a step up. What do they need so they can be a step ahead going in and can get promoted down the line? So we think long term, not just let's get you through the door in an accounting firm.
So it sounds like a job is kind of almost a given. I mean, it's just a natural outcome of your program. The opportunities are vast, it sounds like. And so that allows you to go beyond that goal and really be more forward-thinking and think, like you say, long-term to really the career aspect, not just the first step of the career, but the longer-term steps of the career, really setting someone up for long-term success.
That's what we want. That's our goal.
That's excellent. All right, well, great. Well, if someone is interested, can you tell me what you would recommend as their next steps that they should do?
Contact DePaul. If you go to our website, Brian May, he helps matriculate students into the program, and he is fabulous advisor, wouldn't you say? And so I suppose you'll give them that email address.
We will. We'll have it posted right here. And so this is a site that you can go and find out more information and start the process. And as Cindy mentioned, Brian is a key contact and will help, through the whole steps of learning more and application and admission. So that's wonderful.
And we've kept our application streamlined so it's easy to apply for. It's not onerous. So if you're interested, contact us.
Makes it nice.
We're happy to help.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, thank you both very much. Thanks for your experiences that you can share, which has led to your perspectives. And I know this is good information for those trying to learn about the different schools that are right fit for them. Thanks so much.
Great. Thanks, Deanna.